Good morning. Here we are back at art again today, and the subject of today is printmaking. Printmaking is a really fun activity, and when we were at school, it's explored pretty well every year, and we have a variety of different materials, from rollers to lithograph to lino to foam, even starting with potatoes in the younger grades. So, but at home we have limited materials. So whatever you have, you can use. So expand on my idea with whatever wonderful ideas that you have. What I'm going to talk about today is printmaking using just simple things that you might have in your home. Jello, you might have food coloring, potentially have some foam trays from whenever you get some vegetables at the grocery store. Just plain paper, wax paper to protect your surfaces, potato peeler, and a potato. I also have a sponge with water in order to add the water because Jello is dry. So your first task, so your potato peeler, and you carve into the potato. If you hold the potato near the bottom and carve, you can create some sort of pattern in your potato that you're going to be printing with. Printing is a repetition, a patterning on paper where you create some sort of regular movement on the paper and to portray some visual that you really, mostly to create the pattern. It is the outcome is to have a pattern, but it's something that is visually stimulating. So you want to use something that has bright colors, geometric designs, or fluid organic designs, and then a repetition. One thing I discovered with using Jello crystals, which I've never used before, was that they have a fading look, which is really cool. Whenever you print with it, you find you put the Jello in your tray. Let me demonstrate. So you sprinkle the Jello in the tray, you carve your potato, and then you have to get your paper wet. So you drag a little bit of the sponge on your paper, and then you have a wet potato. So dip it under the water, or dip it in the water here. Dip it then into your Jello crystals, and then push it onto the wet spot on the paper. Just get that spot wet that you're going to be working on. Put it down and lift it, and you'll see that there's some crystals, some of those Jello crystals sitting there. And some of them will go that bright green, but others will just sit there and look pale at first. Gradually, as the paper dries, it soaks in and pulls those the crystals into the paper. And it ends up coming out really kind of this faded look rather than bright and stark, which is, I find, really, really interesting. Next, in order to create more design, you can cut your potato into strips, and carve smaller pieces, and then use the food color, and it has a sharper look. So you have the mixture of that faded Jello and also that sharper edge. So my final piece is here. It has the green is really, really misty, and the blue, which is the food coloring, is much sharper. There's of course some areas where I had a little bit too much water and it sort of spread a little bit. It's not as sharp as if it was formal printmaking. A second job that you could do is make another one using the same supplies, and you'll get better. So doing the whole printmaking several times, you improve in your skill. Another one, if you really enjoy printmaking and you want to discover a bit more, is you can actually take one of these trays and cut the edges off, and you just have the flat piece in the middle, and you can carve right into that tray with your potato peeler. It carves really easily, and you can make a really cool design, and then again press it into something and press it onto paper. That is true printmaking, where you have something that you can repeat, whether it is potato or whether it is this. You can repeat and repeat and repeat. And the more you repeat, you'll see the cleaner you get. You can also, one more detail, you can carve your potato, you can print, and then you can carve more and print another color on top. Then you would need 2 colors of Jello. If you put food coloring on top of the Jello, you can try it. But if I found when I put food coloring on top of the Jello, it eradicated the smoky look, that sort of blurry look of the Jello. So I tried to limit myself to just doing food color on food color, Jello on Jello, and I had a much happier design. I hope you really enjoy it. Printmaking is something that students at school often enjoy. Take care. Have a lovely day.